a redstone creation by HexRegulus, which is an elevator that can be either made without any redstone between the floors, or with redstone, where you can call the elevator to the floor you're at. Hey guys, it's Chad. HexRegulus is a YouTuber that I showed off a little while ago with the 1x1 submarine, and he is at it again, making a really cool elevator that could be set up without any redstone between the floors, or with redstone, but where you can call the elevator to the floor that you're at. He's an awesome YouTuber. I really suggest that you go and subscribe because he makes some really cool redstone stuff. His YouTube channel is in the description, so please go and subscribe. So let's check out this elevator.
So here we are, and I've just spent the last hour and a half making my elevator, and it looks and works pretty amazingly. So right now, this is what we have. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 floors. Right now, the elevator is right here on the 4th floor. If I want to send it down, I just get in it. We have some glazed terracotta with some arrows up or down, and all I have to do is hit the down arrow, and we will head downwards. You can see that it's there's a nice elevator area. And then once we get to the next floor, it will stop. I had a little window here just to kind of look out and show that it's working. We can head down again. Then it'll stop at the next floor. Head down again, and it will stop at the bottom floor. If we want to go up, it works the exact same way. Pretty cool. Now, there's no way to say go directly to the 5th floor or anything like that. You can only continue to hit the up buttons. You can see that we're headed upwards into the sky. Now, you can also have these floors completely independent. You can see that there is no redstone in between this floor and that floor up there. And it will still work the same way. We can head it all the way up to the top. You can see there's... Look, no wires. It's a magic trick. As we head up to this floor and stop, and it is completely floating. So if you wanted to have some sort of floaty wizard tower thing, this is a great way to pull that off, which is really cool, and an easy way to get up or down. And then we can just send this right back down, because all this is using is basically one of those slime block contraptions to move it one way or another. The other cool thing, the other really cool feature about this is that you can call the elevator to whatever floor you want. So let's say you have your awesome wizard tower, wizard island up there, and you want the elevator to come back down to this floor. Well, you can call it, and it will send it to this floor, which is pretty darn cool. You do need to use a lever, and you need to hit that lever and keep it held until it arrives, and then let it go, just like that. And then you can head upwards to the next floor. So that is a really cool feature. Now, that feature does need this redstone connecting it. So I couldn't call, if the elevator was up in this area that's all floaty, I couldn't call it back down. We do need a redstone line. So I guess that really wouldn't work perfectly for your wizard tower. So how do we build it? Let's go ahead and start with the elevator cage itself. So to start, we're going to put down a block. This is an immovable block so that whenever our elevator heads downwards, it won't head down anymore. And it's good to build it one off of the ground so you don't start pulling the ground up with you. Put down a sticky piston, put down a slime block on the top and on the side, and then another sticky piston facing downwards, just like this. And then go ahead and put sticky pistons all along the top, just like that. I suggest, and actually HexRegulus suggests, that you put sea lanterns on the top there. That way you have a source of light wherever this heads. Next, you're going to need to put in your observers. It's a good idea to put a piece of obsidian so that your elevator doesn't start just flying up into the sky. You're going to need some temporary blocks right there and right there, and then place your observers on those blocks so that they will be observing those blocks And you'll see the little faces just like that. Also, you'll need an observer observing this slime block right here facing outwards. And now you have your cage created. If you want to build this into the ground like I did, you need to go down, it looks like 4 blocks in order to have enough space for everything. And that's actually 4 blocks with 1 block being your floor there. So you have to go down 5 blocks. I'm going to go ahead and build just floating here in the air. Now, any time that these slime blocks pass by blocks, they may pick them up. So if they're a block like, say, this sandstone, this would be attached to your elevator as it moves. We can get around this by using glazed terracotta. This glazed terracotta stuff that was just introduced, none of this will stick to slimes. So make sure that you're using this for your elevator shaft and for your floors around the elevator. So we're just going to go ahead and throw these down. Remember, it only needs to be the blocks that touch a face, not the corners. So these corners can be whatever block that you want. On every level, I'm just going to explain how to build one level, and then we can tile it in a bit. So on this level, we're going to make this be our entrance. This is the rest of our base, or the floor to the base. Around the back, you're going to want to grab some obsidian and a movable block and put one here and right there onto that observer. And then right here, you're going to want to put just a normal piston, just like this. And what's going to happen is that piston will be glued to this elevator unless if the piston is powered. If the piston is powered, then the elevator is unstuck and can move on. So we're going to use this as a lock to keep our elevator from moving around. Next, let's set up the pistons, which will then activate these observers. So we're going to put down a temporary block, can be anything. I just happen to have a piston in my hand, and we're going to put down a piston there and a piston there, both of them facing the observers. Next, we're going to add our buttons. And what we're going to do is build one block up just so that we can be facing our buttons nicely. And then put down some temporary blocks. And we're going to want our glazed terracotta. I like using the arrow glazed terracotta. This is, I believe, magenta. Yep. And one is going to go up and one is going to go down. Up is first, down is second if you're reading from left to right. Place buttons on those. So now let's start on the redstone of the control panel. You're going to put a redstone torch on the back of, we'll start with the up button of the up button. So just put one on the back of the up button. Down a block and a redstone on top of that with another redstone torch, just like that. Oops, that was gone before I needed to do another take. Then we're going to put a bit of another block down like this, and we are going to come over like so, and a block right there. Your redstone is going to head this way. This is going to be a repeater into that block, which is going to be powering this piston. We're going to come off of this block right here, right before we get to the repeater, put some redstone on top of that, put down a torch, and then below this piston, so one block below, we're going to put a redstone repeater into the piston and redstone dust into that repeater, which will fire that piston. These pistons are always going to be fired. That way there isn't a hole in our elevator shaft for you to fall into. Next is the down button. Let's go ahead and put a block under there. This block will have a bit of redstone on it with a torch. The torch will be reaching across over this repeater there, and that is going to come over and up like so. So that goes 3 over and then 3 across and then 1 down to get to that piston. We're going to start off with a repeater, then some redstone across, and then a repeater into that piston. Now we also have to fire off this piston. So in this circuit, the first circuit that we did, this repeater is what turns that piston on. So in this circuit, we're going to put down a piece right there, a repeater into that block, and then you can put a torch down off of this line. So either there or there will work. And that is our circuit to send this into either direction. Sometimes if this ever happens where your elevator actually becomes two pieces, all you have to do is put a block on that and then power that piston briefly so that it sucks up the rest of that. And you can also see that that's one of the reasons you want an immovable block, which is this obsidian right here, underneath your contraption so that it doesn't do that. We can remove that. So let me show you how to fix that when it naturally happens when your elevator goes up or down. Right here is that that extra observer block that was facing out of the elevator. You can kind of see its face right there. It points into this bit of obsidian. So what you're going to want to do is put down a wooden trap door so that when it fires, it will activate the trap door, and then put an observer observing that trap door, an observer observing that observer, an observer observing and observing and observing. So that you're going to have, it's kind of observer heavy, I know. You're going to have five observers. Oh my gosh, say observer 5 times fast. You're going to make that so that it's a quick redstone pulse. Then you're going to create a pathway over here, basically all the way over to this piston, which is the troublemaker piston. And then you're going to create a little hump just like that. We're going to put a piece of redstone to capture that observer signal, a repeater that is on full delay, redstone along the top, and then a comparator facing backwards towards that repeater. Then we're going to bring a block down like so, and we need some glazed terracotta next to these slimes right here, and a repeater going into that glazed terracotta. So what will happen is when this actually gets here, when the elevator arrives, the observer will trip this, which will send a redstone signal over to this block to fire that off again. And if I break that down there and then just do this, you'll see that it just did that for us so that it has updated and everything is perfect with our elevator. And if you don't want the extra feature of being able to call the elevator to whatever floor you're on, you're actually done. This is a working elevator that will go up and down with these signals, and you don't even need these floors to be connected at all, so that this could just be floating if you wanted. Remember that whatever your elevator shaft is made out of, it must be an immovable block. So that can be obsidian, glazed terracotta, or any of the other blocks that are not affected by slime blocks.
Big thanks to HexRegulus once again. If you want to learn how to make this with the redstone in between the floors so that you can call the elevator to the floor you're at, I suggest you go and check out his original video. It's in the description down below. Thanks so much for watching this episode of OMGcraft. If you enjoyed it, please give it a like. Please subscribe to the channel for future tips, tricks, and tutorials and spotlights. And make sure you leave a comment letting me know your thoughts. See you next time on OMGcraft. Bye!